Alrighty, good evening. I am TBM. We're bringing you the 2016 Season 2 CSL Grand Final. It's going to be between Team Unrivaled Seeker and BornGo's Skyhook, and it will be a TVT Best of 7. CSL is a Diamond and Under tournament, mirrors the GSL, same sort of thing, just for Diamond and Under players involved in the CTL. If you're curious about the CTL, do go to chobateamleague.com. Check out some more things about that. It is a team league, kind of pro league style. It is for Diamond and Under players, so go check that out if you're interested. This is going to be the final here. Both of these players have made a bit of a name for themselves through the CTL. Seeker is probably a little bit more well known. He's been around the CTL for a very long time, kind of off and on, but anytime he is back in the CTL, he really kind of destroys people. I don't think he's actually competed in the CSL ever since his availability has been so strange, but he's been around this past spring and this summer, and he's made it to the finals here in this season of the CSL. Skyhook, on the other hand, I think he joined maybe last season with BornGo. I know he was in the CSL last season, and I'm pretty sure he started out as Plat. Both of these players have actually made it up to Masters, I think in the past couple of weeks. At the very end of last ladder season, or maybe at the very beginning of this current ladder season. So congrats to both of them as far as they have come. We're going to go ahead and get into our first map of this Best of 7 series. We're just going to be on Invader. And we're going to go ahead and get into that. Spawning in the top left in red from BornGo. This is Skyhook. And his opponent in the top right in blue from Team Unrivaled, our other Terran. This is Seeker. Oh heavens. Can't deal with that. I gotta change that. Of course, I can't ever remember everything I need to do. There we go. That looks better. TVT, Lakes of the Void. A lot more fun than it has been in the past. I would say so myself. Especially in doing all of the no-name weekly casts that I was doing for a while. So a lot of TVTs during that with Monk and Kazi, Maljahi playing in those. Those guys really showed some really good TVT play, so it'll be nice to see what these two players do come up with. Monk is on the same team as Seeker, and I've always kind of thought of Seeker as being just kind of a mini version of Monk. They're both very frightening Terran players. Seeker just hasn't really ever played often enough to get past Diamond level. And now that he is playing as much as he has been, he did make the Masters, so that's really no surprise. He's just a very solid player, and once he figures out a build in a matchup, he tends to stick with it. So I'm also curious to see how he fares in a Best of 7 series against another player who may actually change up his builds a little bit. Skyhook, I'm pretty sure every single Zerg player he came across in CSL, he ended up 3-axing and winning regardless. And which brought on a lot of salt from those guys. So it'd be nice to see what he does in the TVT. First deviation here, Skyhook going for a second gas as soon as his barracks finished up. No second gas here from Seeker, but we do have an expansion coming down really quickly here from our blue Terran player. And he is going for an initial Reaper. Just a supply lead, not a factory coming up just yet. He doesn't quite have the gas for a factory. He could go for a reactor straight away. He's going to go for a marine straight away, so he will be going to a factory pretty quickly. Let's say the factory is coming down here for Skyhook already. Nothing extra coming out of this barracks just yet. He does have quite a bit of money, so I imagine he's going to be throwing down a command center pretty soon. Which, yeah, he's going to be doing up here in the top left of his main base, just to stay safe in case there was something early coming out from the Seeker, but that's not going to be the case. Second gas here for our blue Terran player in a factory as well. Just pumping out some Marines. Keeping his Reaper at home. We kind of see that pretty often in TVT, making sure that nothing comes from your opponent. I kind of like that Sky. Pretty sure Skyhook's SCV already went down here. Yeah, his SCV's already been here. He must have passed the SCVs from Seeker, and he did want Seeker to actually be able to scout. So he sent his Reaper down there, take that out, so that I can send my SCV over here and figure out what you're doing. And he does see this command center down in the low ground, so he knows that is there. And his Reaper as well is going to scout out the Reaper of Seeker next to him, so he'll be able to keep that from getting in. There's a second Reaper here from Skyhook, which will be able to chase this down and maybe kill it off before it actually gets anything. Yeah. So Skyhook, or Seeker, has no idea what Skyhook is doing right now. So he's going to have to burn a scan to be able to figure out what is actually going on over here. It does look like it's going to be, well, got some Hellions on the way. Starport's going to finish up here in just a second, I imagine. Well, he gets scanned, and he's going to go ahead and make a medevac out of this, so he's wanting to get a drop in pretty quickly. Seeker does have a Widow Mine, just a bunch of Marines right now, and he's going for a medevac as well, getting the tech lab on the factory system, able to start pumping out some tanks to help defend back home. Both these players might end up dropping at about the same time as the other player. That's something that is seen a lot in TVTs, which can end up in a weird base trade situation with a really small amount of units, but it's still a thing, simply because there's units for both players, but neither one of them are anywhere near the other player. Medevac finishes up there. I like how Seeker actually moved that out of the range of the scan there, so he doesn't know if the medevac actually finished. So Skyhook may not know if this is a thing. Wouldn't mind that a bunch of Marines do load up here for Seeker, so he can send those across the map, and there's really nothing back home. There's a Cyclone on the way and a Liberator, not a Viking, a Liberator coming out. This medevac for Skyhook did actually load up everything, but looks like he's going back for another Reaper here. Medevac for Seeker is going to be coming here in just a second. Skyhook probably knows this is a thing, and he got the Cyclone lock on really early, which is nice, but Widowmine does burrow, and the Marines are dropping out as well. The medevac will go down. Widowmine does get one kill on the SCV that's building the turret. Not really many units here, just the Cyclone. So the Cyclone going through repaired by all the SCVs. And actually Skyhook does bring back his entire drop to help deal with this. This one Lone Reaper that was trying to be picked up is still out in the middle of nowhere right now. Actually, right now there's not much out here for Seeker. Well, he does have a tank here at the natural. He's actually making a third command center, so he's like, okay, whatever, fine. Liberator coming here is going to put down this liberation zone, but SCVs do get on out of dodge. No trouble there. Another tank coming on up here for Seeker. It's not spotted. Well, okay, there we go. Skyhook does see that, and he does pick up and try to go to the natural, but still there's a tank here. The Liberator's going to be taken up with a Viking as well. Tank shots going down in the mineral line. Eesh, not really any damage done there by Skyhook. Workers lost right now 8-2. I think one of those from both players is a scouting SCV, so 7 SCVs were killed by Seeker in that drop, and then only 1 got killed by Skyhook, so it's a pretty rough open here for our Red Siren player. Resources loss is one thing, but the standing armor right now is pretty telling. There's already 2 tanks here for Seeker that he has actually picked up completely. He's going to pick those up and start maybe moving across the map, doing a little bit of harassment of his own if he can, and only the 1 tank and a Cyclone. Second tank is finishing up here for Skyhook, but he doesn't have much else beyond that. Looks like extra barracks coming up for both of our players here, so we'll be bio eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time before any of them can actually do any sort of attack, given how far away Stim is initially here for Seeker. And Stim actually hasn't even started here for Skyhook. He's got +1 attack on the way for his infantry, but beyond that, there's not a tech lab on the barracks anywhere. I hope he makes it up in this top one. Well, these 2 medevacs rolling on over here for Seeker with those tanks and a Viking to help support. There are 2 tanks here for Skyhook in pretty decent position to help ward those off. There's a bit of a dead zone back in this area, but it'll be hard to kill too many SCVs. Seeker is going to roll on in here, see what damage he can get done. Actually drops directly in range of that turret, and one of those tanks, actually the Cyclone, is going to get a kill. One of those medevacs with the tank in it, so this Cyclone has done a lot of work so far in this game, and he's still going to maybe get another kill. Oh, he's going to get this other one. Is Seeker paying attention? Nope. He's going to lose everything to the Cyclone, so the Cyclone has kind of brought this game back for Skyhook. The problem now for our Red Siren player is the fact that Seeker has 3 command centers. He's got 46 workers to 30 right now. And yeah, I just now switched the names to match where they actually spawned. Skyhook does have a 3rd command center, that's nice, but he's still 17 workers down right now. And this command center is not going to be able to float to a 3rd base really anytime soon. Unit count wise, the Marines are pretty even here. Tank count is relatively even, especially considering the fact that it really helps that Skyhook was able to snipe off those 2 tanks and the 2 medevacs, which does put this medevac count really nicely in the favor of our Red Terran player. And if Skyhook wants to push, he may want to push now and try to get some work done here. It looks like he's going to do so. He knows that he got that lot of money killed off there of Seekers, and he'd be able to push across the map and do some sort of damage here and try to even up this economic game. This might be the hero CV for Seeker here. He's going to be able to scout this push coming. Yeah. So he knows that's coming, so he's going to be able to try and set up somewhere. His problem is he's got a really wide area that he has to defend with this 3rd command center already landed. This is kind of a weird location, or a weird pathway from the 3rd to the natural, where it's not really a wide arc you can defend on. Looking like Skyhook is maybe aiming just for this 3rd base, and Seeker's actually positioned himself to try and maybe surround this some way. At the very least, he's going to know exactly where Skyhook comes from. Tanks do get dropped down here. I'll start to get some work done. Medevacs need to move back or they're going to be lost. Marines do roll in here, but not before a lot of tank damage gets done on those. And now just the Marine count here for Seekers going to be able to even things up. The tanks are on the low ground, but no more high ground vision. There we go. Scan goes down for Skyhook. He's able to, well, not get much done. He does kill a lot of those Marines there, but both players trading armies. But Seeker, without losing any of his SCV count there, still in a pretty good position. Even supplies are 30 apart, but it's almost all SCVs here for Seeker, which is kind of insane that, I mean, we're at this point of the game and the SCV count is just so disparate between these players. Skyhook is still making SCVs at least, but I mean, Seeker is as well. Looks like Seeker's not going to stop making SCVs until he's taken a 4th, maybe. I kind of expect to see that pretty soon, as soon as he actually has some money to do so. Is Skyhook going to try for some sort of doom drop here? There's 3 turrets and a tank, so that would be kind of painful. At least in the main base. There is a fourth command center here for Seeker coming up, so he is going that route. The natural is pretty undefended if Skyhook were to come through this location, but he is looking like he's just going to go directly into the main base and try and cripple the production here of Seeker. There's a very large army of Seeker here. Most of it is loaded up in the medevac, so he's going to be able to respond pretty quickly as soon as he does see this. The boost used maybe a little too early, because now he's going to unload slowly on top of all those turrets. He's going to have to run away from this, but there is a tank, like I said, sitting in the back here, just shelling away. Actually doesn't get any kills. There's one medevac full of units here. Okay, they are just getting unloaded now. One more tank there. Actually, tank's getting dropped by Seeker directly on top of the Marines, so one tank will go down. But so many Marines here that they're going to have to find a way to get on top of all 3 of these tanks back here for Skyhook. So actually, there's some SCVs in this as well. Let's try and get out of here. Yeah, he's going to try and retreat now. Skyhook lost a lot of his army there. A lot of his army. He didn't really kill much of the army of Seeker. He maybe killed some SCVs. He killed like 10 SCVs there, I think. Yeah, I think he killed about 10 SCVs. Beyond that, he killed a tank, 2 tanks maybe, and he lost most of his standing army. At the very least, it does put Seeker on the back foot a little bit. It forces Seeker to worry a little bit more about defending in his main than he may have been wanting to. And Seeker was looking like he was kind of looking for an attack here. He had most of his army down here, some of it was loaded up, and he was probably going to start pushing over to the other side of the map. And now Skyhook is going to try and roll into this bottom right 3rd base of Seekers. There is a sensor tower down here, and the army is moving that direction, at least probably moving towards the 4th base, which is turning into a planetary here for Seeker. Another large amount of units are loaded up directly into that sensor tower range. So Seeker knows that's coming now, and he's going to have to react here. Nothing's loading up. The tanks for Seeker are all kind of in the back here. How much can Skyhook actually get unloaded? He gets most of it unloaded, but 2 of the tanks weren't actually sieged, so they're going to go down really quickly. This entire army, yeah, that entire army gets killed. Swatted out of the sky for the most part. And Seeker will go up and take a 1-0 lead here in this best of 7 series. Back in just a second with game number 2.